Welcome to the Random Ass Podcast. I'm your random asshole, Christopher Steele.
I'm the other random asshole, Steele-Rhoads. Welcome to the show.
So, we had season finales for pretty much everything else this week. The only show that I have left has one more show episode is Cloak and Dagger. But they had Supergirls and Legends of Tomorrow. And both of them had the Monitor show up. And the Monitor was like just a crowd member in Legends. But in Supergirl shows up at the end with John Jones' brother, because Martian Manhunter is OP as hell. Let's face it. He's one of the most OP characters.
Of course. Every show needs one.
He's and don't get me wrong, Supergirl, Superman, they're OP.
Yeah.
But he's even more OP. Because he's pretty much has the same abilities as a Superman or a Supergirl, but he can phase. Which means, oh, you're gonna shoot your laser beamed eyes at me? It'll go right through me.
Right.
Doo-doo-doo. So they wanted somebody else to be able to take on Martian Manhunter, so apparently he imprisoned his brother. So the Monitor freed him and brought him to Earth.
I've watched absolutely none of Supergirl at any point, other than for a little bit of the first season. Thought they did a good job with what I saw, and scheduling just hasn't worked out.
So, Crisis is going to be 5 parts.
Nice.
So I'm guessing.
One on each.
I'm guessing that makes sense, because Batwoman.
Yep.
Supergirl. Legends of Tomorrow. Arrow.
And
And
Flash.
Flash.
Yep. Makes sense. Seen a lot of the movie they could make at the moment.
And I've heard that Batgirl is going to be part of it. So yeah, that really makes sense. I heard something that they're going to actually...
Batwoman is a part of it.
I heard that they're actually... It might be a little bit more than that, though.
What do you mean?
Because they're going to have the crossover in December.
Well, of course you're going to have the build-ups.
No, they're going to have something more afterwards. All 4 shows by that point.
Yeah. The last episode of Arrow will probably be the crossover episode. They'll do the crossover episode as the last episode and kill them off.
No.
And then the last one will be
Actually, the way it's scheduled is episode 9 for Arrow. So there will be one more episode.
Yeah, and that one will probably be everybody, getting their final goodbye in the solo episode, but the rest of them will be like the fallout of him dying. Except in Supergirl, where it's not the same Earth, so.
Right. Maybe.
Is
It might-
Supergirl the one not scheduled to be a part of the next a little bit afterward? If so, because if so, that's it then.
They're maybe it's not the same world. After Crisis on Infinite Earths, it might become one world.
Yeah. You got a point there.
I didn't make it all the way through Doom Patrol. I gotta rewatch it. I made it so far and I'm like, oh shit, what the hell happened? It was boring the hell out of me.
I don't doubt it.
The whole show has been great. The last episode is actually pretty boring.
Huh. That blows.
But it keeps jumping back and forth and
Just loses you.
apparently what's his name? Miles Cauldron. The guy that put together the group. Only did it because they're all immortal. And he wanted to become immortal himself.
That's
So they keep fighting back with like all that where he basically recruits all of them.
that's pretty cool. But it sucks that they can't tell in a way that's not boring as shit.
And then the one, my favorite character, Crazy Jane, shot up some elixir shit that make basically everybody in the underground go to sleep. So she don't give a because she don't want to feel nothing. And that's pretty much where I fell asleep.
Huh.
Like, what the hell are you doing, Jane? Clunk.
Next week, by next week's episode, Swamp Thing will have started.
Right.
So, really not letting up on the...
No. Then
Harley Quinn debuts in October.
Well, they're gonna go back to Young Justice.
Yeah, second half airs in July, yep.
Harley Quinn.
Titans has been renewed. They don't know about Doom Patrol yet, if it's been renewed.
Oh yeah, that's gonna get renewed.
I would like to hope so.
They extended the season. Like they're not gonna fucking renew that shit.
Right, you got a point.
So I watched a video. Popular rip-offs of Marvel characters. DC popular rip-offs of Marvel characters. And
There's loads.
Top 10. And of course, Aquaman was on that list.
Should be near the top. One of the original rip-offs.
Yes. Because Namor has been around longer than even Captain America.
Yep. The first mutant.
And And then
in their timeline.
And then on the list was Captain Steel, which
Captain America knockoff.
yes, it is like Commander Steel from Legends of Tomorrow. His grandpa.
Oh, jeez.
He was he was like top guy on Justice Society.
I'm sitting here looking at the DCEU wiki. They got 3 good movies in their DCEU. Honestly, 3.
Aquaman,
Shazam, and
the original Batman. No, that don't count.
that doesn't count. No.
Uh,
Everyone enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie, but it was clearly just a knockoff of Thor and Captain America kind of mashed together.
oh, Wonder Woman.
Yep. But the only 3 decent movies that they had going for them.
Yeah.
And the future includes.
Well, you don't count Suicide Squad?
I didn't know I like Suicide Squad. But they're doing another one of those. Yeah. One called The Batman. Wonder Woman 1984.
Yes.
Birds of Prey.
That might be good.
That's the same thing I'm thinking. The Flash, which I'm thinking might be good. Because Justice League was terrible, but the one part that I did enjoy was almost every scene the Flash was in. So this might stand a really good chance of being good. And then Aquaman 2.
So, on that high on that list, like number 1 or number 2 on the list.
Yeah.
Was Swamp Thing.
Oh yeah, Man Thing.
Man Thing.
Yep.
Nobody remembers Man Thing though.
No, but Man Thing is in the MCU.
Right.
So, can't wait for that to pop up. We'll see how Swamp Thing does. Swamp Thing will do amazing. Like, fuck it, Man Thing. Time to whip out the Man Thing. Wait. Yeah. Hold on. That didn't come out right. But yeah, no.
But there's been... Actually, they're saying that Man Thing probably won't show up for quite a while.
Right.
Alright, yeah.
But I am guessing that Namor is going to be coming up kind of soon. Just because...
Kings of Atlantis.
In... What was the first... Like, one, I think it was Iron Man 2. In the post-credit sequence, they show a map, and then fucking... Like, Atlantis is highlighted in the map. And then, in the last movie, in Endgame, when they do the... Spoiler alert. When they do the I don't know what the fuck to call it, or what exact section it was, but Black Widow was... I think it was like after the 5-year jump when she's doing the, like, talking to everybody on their little hologram intercom bullshit, and they're talking about the earthquake just off the coast of Africa, and what are they going to do about it? That immediately made me think something Submariner, Namor, like his story could easily pick up in the Decimation, you know,
right.
Tell a basic 15-minute story of how he came to power, and then boom, his story picks up when Thanos snaps his fingers, and then everybody coming back after the Decimation causes a fucking huge earthquake, or the earthquake was a battle that was happening. Whatever.
So, did Fox have the rights to Namor then?
I don't know who has the rights, honestly.
That they probably didn't either. That's why they didn't do it.
Right?
Like, oh shit. Do we have the rights? Do they have the rights? Because he is a mutant.
The rights were originally owned by Universal, but the movie never got off the ground. But some other producers own Namor at the moment, so they have to work that one out.
Yeah. Now throw money at it.
Right. That's Disney.
That's the Disney way.
Right.
If they want to do anything with it.
Right. That's true. And I think they could. I don't know if they want to, but I know they could.
I'm actually
I'm hoping they do.
thinking
Because an Avengers vs. X-Men could happen properly.
when Fantastic Four, the newest Fantastic Four hits, because that's pretty much guaranteed in Phase 4.
Basically.
Whereas X-Men aren't going to come back until Phase 5. But when that happens, they'll be like, yeah. That's when they'll be decide on Namor.
Probably. Okay. I'm over to the MCU now. Looking at their future prospects, the future movies that we're pretty sure are going to get made.
Yes.
In which we have Black Widow.
That's pretty guaranteed because that's already in production.
Right. The Eternals. Shang-Chi. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
As Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. That's what I'm hoping. An untitled Doctor Strange sequel and an untitled Black Panther sequel.
Actually, I heard for next year, Doctor Strange will probably be like November of next year.
Nice. I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be as Guardians of the Galaxy. I really don't. I think that's going to come afterwards because in the potential projects of shit that's not nailed in, but stuff that's been talked about by people higher up in the chain, an untitled Ant-Man and Wasp sequel. All these are untitled, I do believe.
Right. Everything.
Captain Marvel sequel. Thor Ragnarok sequel, which that one I can see being as Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok 2 or some shit like that. Thor Ragnarok 2 as Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, I can see them work. A third Spider-Man movie. They're wanting to do a new Blade movie with Wesley Snipes, but a whole new.
They want to keep Wesley Snipes, but forget the story.
Not necessarily forget the story, but just place it. I say place it chronologically where it happened, and because it was in the '90s, you know, so fuck it. Let it happen at the same time Captain Marvel was happening. He's not worried about that bullshit. James Gunn wants to do a Moon Knight movie. With him back in this fold, that could easily happen. Power Pack. They want to do a Power Pack flick.
Mm.
So, okay. Now, they're also reproposing a couple of ones that have been done. Well, one that was done and well, no, both of them were done. I only watched the one, though. Inhumans. He wants to make them a part of Phase 4 and just do a flat-out movie. Not ignoring what happened in the series, but
right.
Which is building off of it. And,
that's fine.
right. And The Runaways.
Is that going to be...
Include the Hulu stuff.
Like, after Hulu?
Yeah, after the Hulu run. Which they've already done. They're not getting another season.
They've already got 2.
Oh, no, yeah. No, it's still running. They might include it. They have ordered a 3rd season of 10 episodes. So, yeah. Runaways may get
I'm guessing that'll be it. So they can get
them into the MCU.
To the Disney streaming app.
Right.
Like, fuck you guys. We got our own app.
Right. But after Far From Home, there's nothing really in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Like, this is the end of the MCU as we know it, and it's wide open to do whatever the hell they want.
Right.
They can start telling any story they damn well choose.
The basic theory is they're gonna start another
okay. Now
big storyline.
This is gonna be a long one. I say we start picks now. Because I got a good idea for picks.
Okay.
Characters or teams. We can even include the X-Men, why not? that aren't not included in the upcoming or proposed projects that should be implemented by at least phase 6. But like we're talking 2025, talking like good 5-6 years in the future. By then they should be talking about what characters in your mind.
Okay.
I'll let you even start.
Characters.
So, I mean, and when I say X-Men, you can do like all the X-Men, or you can just like specifically pick this person deserves a solo movie that should jumpstart them in, whatever.
I would think Gambit. Just to kick him off.
It'd be a great way to introduce mutants into the MCU.
Right.
Because he's got other shit on his plate to worry about other than anything that happened in the MCU.
Right.
He's in fucking
Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana, New Orleans. Like
normally.
That's where I would put it. I would tell the story pre Sinister Twist with him being a clone and shit. I would tell that story. It's way more easily attachable.
Right. And again,
with it being
I don't
MCU,
know. I don't know about the comic books that they could have decided to retcon that.
Right.
Oh, that was just a lie.
And it could very well could have been. I mean, it could have been the plan the whole time is for him to lie and just say it and not be true. Well, okay, so Gambit.
Yes.
I'm gonna start with the Fantastic Four. Just the whole Fantastic Four universe would be a great place to.
Right, and that's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. They're talking about it, but nothing's like they don't have any casting set in stone. They don't even know when they're going to start implementing. But by phase 5 or 6, they should be. They should have already introduced or be talking about introducing the Fantastic Four.
I actually heard it's supposed to be phase 4.
It would make the most sense. Do phase 4 as Fantastic Four. You can even have that be the teaser at Comic-Con with the fucking Human Torch making the 4. And what the fuck? Oh, shit! Nerdgasms everywhere.
And then
especially
phase 5 will be X-Men.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. The X-Men universe finally getting.
Right. So, second pick. This is kind of hard because.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said start early, because I know that these picks are going to be relatively rough.
Because a lot of your bigger names already have been in the fucking MCU.
Right. But a lot of them haven't. Because my next one, they could, now that everything's back to normal, they could actually implement it into a sequel of someone else's.
I'm going to put a bad guy on this list.
That's great, dude. Bad guy movies would probably do fantastic.
But I'm going to guess you had to find a new enemy. Fing Fang Foom.
Okay, Fing Fang Foom has made an appearance in the MCU on a couple billboards. I can see them doing that and then having the big reveal at the end being that it was a movie in the MCU. To be able to tell such a fantastical story and make it a part of the universe, but not make it stand inside the rest of the story. The fantastic part being that if they do get the X-Men, then they have Proteus, then Fing Fang Foom can make a fucking actual appearance and actually, wreak some havoc in the world if fucking, they let, Proteus, he's not even my next one, but like he's the catalyst for a lot of shit to make sense in the MCU since
him or Legion.
Legion's another one, yeah. But my next one, honestly, is Storm. Should be.
Actually, you introduce her.
I say do it in Black Panther 2. Because he's actually her wife in the or his wife in the comics. So if she
just like a post-credit scene.
Yeah. Or have it be the fucking, like, the whole build-up is, like, he's trying, they get married, the whole fucking plethora of shit happens because
I'd do it, like, as a post-credit scene. That way you could actually introduce her in her own movie and then work it.
I say have him meet her when she, just before her powers, like, do it as a flashback story. Like bookend it with a flashback and flash forward sequence where it's
But
he meets her. They make a reference somewhere in the movie that's a completely different standalone movie. Then in the post-credit sequence, you introduce her fucking coming out with the fucking shit.
But that...
And then have her do a standalone.
Standalone. And that can lead to, if done right...
Her post-credit sequence can lead to the X-Men.
Gambit.
Right.
Because in the comics, she's the first one to meet Gambit.
Right. Yeah, you could have hers be the foothold right into
and then
the X-Men.
Then from there, X-Men.
What if you establish her character in like a fucking flashback sequence where she doesn't meet Apocalypse, because she never met Apocalypse. But you know, we can, you know, you can give the homage to the fucking claustrophobia and the fucking. You can make Black Panther story actually about the Shadow King. And then it would make sense for her story to tie in, because you never defeat the Shadow King. He's always going to be around. That's the entire point of the Shadow King in the first place, until he has his battle with Xavier. So what do you think, Shu? What's your ender?
I'm gonna do 2 for 1.
Right on. No, the last one could be a spectacle. Go for it.
Because I'm gonna say Silver Surfer.
Oh, totally. Galactus.
Galactus.
Right.
With Galactus.
If you introduce the Fantastic Four first, and then have the post-credit sequence be the fucking Herald showing up on the fucking radar, and all you see is like the fucking board
really
sky.
Because
they did such a goddamn good job with Ego. I want to see what they'll do with Galactus.
I know. I've seen videos that are like, oh, those were horrible movies.
No,
they're great movies.
Galactus' cameo was shit, but the rest of the movie was fantastic.
Yes,
but those I say first two because the '94 was never released. So the first two Fantastic Four movies with Jessica Alba, Julian McMahon, Chris Evans, they did a fantastic job with those movies. If anything, I would bring those guys back to help write the screenplays because they got the source material. Like, they understood the source material.
The only real problem I had with those movies was Dr. Doom being in that incident.
Oh, in the craft with him. Yeah, he had his own story. Which I assume in the MCU they'll probably do correctly and give him his proper fucking shit.
They might do him without.
He himself would be a great one. And we'll go with honorable mention on that one. Dr. Doom would be a fantastic.
What about your last pick?
My last pick is fucking just obvious as fuck. Do a good Wolverine movie. A good Wolverine movie, not one of these Fox Wolverine movies where it's just like, oh, hey, we got Hugh Jackman, let's tell another bullshit story. No, let's tell the fucking real origins of Wolverine. We can fucking do a quick fucking 15-minute, when he's a kid. The intro to Wolverine Origins was not bad. They just got some shit wrong.
Right.
Like, what they should do is almost the exact same thing, but instead of having him and Sabretooth fighting back to back, it should be him and Captain America. And then pick up the story in the fight. We'll go with the 70s, and that's when he gets hooked up with Stryker and all the Weapon X program shit happens. Fucking meets Deadpool. I mean, it's a perfect way to introduce Deadpool, Sabretooth, fucking Lady Deathstrike, a whole plethora of bad guys that would come back later, and then have the movie end with him and Xavier, him meeting Xavier. Boom, there's a nice little end for a final X-Men. Have Xavier in these Marvel versions of the X-Men movies be the Nick Fury of the movies by being the post-credit sequence guy. Like with Storm standalone, Gambit standalone. He's I've got a school for... And do all of their standalone movies as them young enough that it makes sense.
Right.
Wolverine,
it don't matter.
Well, yeah, Wolverine doesn't matter because his story is bigger than
Wolverine
education.
Don't matter.
His is bigger than learning to use his powers. He knows how to use his powers. He's looking for his past.
Right. Actually, Rogue is kind of the same way, but I don't want Rogue to be on the team
right off the rip.
Right off the rip.
No.
You do it right.
Make her a villain. Her and Mystique have their thing. You do it right.
Right.
Because they have Captain Marvel. You do it right. That's
I
all
know.
I can say is that's how you do it right.
Yes.
And then in that, you don't even have to get rid of Captain Marvel because the body stays there. You know, that's just how it goes. The body stayed because they brought Captain Marvel back, you know, through a transference of fucking essence. He was able to pull the essence back out, put it back in the body, which still had power. But in Rogue taking the power, you can have Captain Marvel do like one last final burst to try and get her off of her. And in doing so, have the little girl from Captain Marvel get blasted with some of the power, absorb it at a young age, become Photon. You keep the Captain Marvel story going because Photon is just, you know, it's Captain Marvel as well. It ran in the Captain Marvel comics.
I would
But at that same point, you have Rogue learning her
maybe Rogue
going to the school to
Rogue
learn how to use her powers.
doesn't decide to do it until Bree's contract is up.
Right. Right.
Are you coming back?
No.
No. All right, we're gonna do this.
But you can still keep the Captain Marvel franchise alive by having some of the powers go to Photon at the same time. Because, you know, if you have Rogue be a bad guy, it would make perfect sense to have, you know, hostages. It would make sense.
Wow. Well, pretty much once she saw Captain Marvel's powers, she lost Mystique and went to Xavier.
Right. And that would be the perfect... Because I think that was... I don't know if it was written that way, but I always took it as Captain Marvel's... like, the good of Captain Marvel
right.
like pushed her to do it. And it would make sense to do that, have, you know, the post-credits of fucking... the movie... I would even introduce her as a villain in a Captain Marvel movie. And then have that post-credit sequence be...
Actually, the whole Brotherhood of Mutants.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's Evil Mutants.
Yeah, Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Have the
them show up-
Mystique version of the Brotherhood.
Right, they could even go do the Sisterhood, make it all female, because that's what they like to push for with the Captain Marvel movies. I have no objection to it. They do a good job.
Well, there was a lot of... There was, 3 women on that team?
Oh, the Sisterhood or Brotherhood?
The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants?
Yeah, it was Mystique, Rogue, and...
Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny. Okay, I was going to fucking go forever on that.
I think it was...
But see, with that, you could also pull in...
I think the other...
Emma Frost is another... This is where you go... This is where you swing wide. Because it's going to be establishing its own universe, so fuck it, why not?
I think the other members were Toad.
Toad would be a good one.
And then...
I would go with Toad and Avalanche or Toad and Pyro. Or Toad, Avalanche, and Pyro. Because those two... Blob would be a good one. Blob would be a good one.
Because I know Toad had always been there on every Brotherhood.
Right.
For the longest time, because there was you remember those? I think it was one of those trading cards, and he became the leader of the Brotherhood at one point, and he basically said, "I went through Magneto's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I went through Rogue's version or Mystique's version."
You're gonna be no different.
I've been here from the beginning, and I'm still here, and I'm fucking in charge.
Makes sense. Right now I'm looking for Mystique's version.
Look up what's it, Strike Force? Was that their name?
Might have been.
They had I think it's Strike Force. They had a government contract where we're actually good guys, but we're we're really bad guys.
Right.
Pretending to be good guys. Mystique was the leader. I'm pretty sure it's the Strike Force.
1981 is when Mystique was given the. So let me go. Oh, okay, there we go. Mystique's Brotherhood. Pyro, Blob, Avalanche, Destiny, and Rogue.
Pyro, Blob.
Avalanche, Destiny, and Rogue.
So then Toad probably joined somewhere in there.
No, Toad got his own Brotherhood. He was a part of Magneto's and. No, not even a part of Magneto's. He's got his own. Havoc had one. Mystique had a second one that had a lot of motherfucking people in it. And a third one. Honestly, she's been a leader of the Brotherhood more times than anybody else.
Yeah.
So you could just pick her in any incarnation of, you pick anybody you want to throw on the team because in the third one she handpicked Toad, Sabretooth, fucking Juggernaut.
She's also been leader. I want to say leader by proxy.
Yeah. Through Magneto's. She was basically leader of Magneto's, both of Magneto's. She's second in command and fucking does all
right.
the...
She does everything. Magneto gives her orders to give to everybody else.
Right, he gets in prison, she just keeps everything running. He comes back.
It's my Brotherhood.
Now, there's
it's Mystique's Brotherhood.
There's an honorable mention right there we should get in there is Magneto. Yes. I basically considered First Class to be Magneto's origin story, and they could be told way better and way fucking more proper. Be a perfect introduction of Charles Xavier, be a perfect introduction of the Brotherhood. Have him get put away.
With Magneto, would you keep the World War II stuff so he's like 1,000,000 years old?
I would, but I would change the age of him when it happened to a lot younger. I would change it to about 7 or 8 as opposed to
pretty young.
It was 12, 13, and I would change it down. I would take it down to about 7 or 8, even maybe even 4 or 5. That way it makes more sense that he's been able to touch the powers, be able to reach them a little bit, but not control them.
They don't manifest in mutants until adolescence.
That's not true.
Most mutants,
exactly. Most mutants,
99% of mutants.
Right, but that 1%, it's always super high stress situations in which the powers are that they can reach those powers, and I think that or the opening to the original X-Men would have been a lot more dramatic had it been a 5 or 6 year old doing it, and then when Kevin Bacon is telling him to do it again, then he shoots his mother in front of him, boom, he fucking snaps one more time, realizes that it's an emotional connection to the powers, and then starts to bring that shit in throughout.
So I watched
they start to manifest in his teens like they normally would, but he's already prepared.
I watched the video on X-Men, or basically X-Men.
Marvel characters that are not MCU. X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
It's just pretty much X-Men related.
Right.
That they consider too strong for the MCU.
Xavier, fucking Wolverine, fucking...
Alright, well, this one, the number one person, it was... Alright, well, you can't have an X-Men show up and not have this character.
Xavier.
No.
Cyclops? Jean. No, see, that's the thing. They need to do her story right.
Yes. Have you seen the new previews?
Yes, it looks like shit. I don't like it being a deep-seated part of her. It needs to be where it's just like Magneto's fucking deal. Her shit fucking I'm talking about with Magneto. Her fucking shit came to her when she was about 7 or 8, and it was because she watched her friend get hit by a fucking car, and when she ran over, she was such a empath. When she grabbed her, she connected to that dying essence The Phoenix Force saw that fucking light years and light years away, and starts fucking traversing that distance.
But the Phoenix Force is actually so massive that it's pretty much everywhere.
No, the Phoenix Force is its own.
It's the guardian of the whole.
It is massive, and what the Marvel characters consider the Phoenix Force and what the actual Phoenix Force are two completely different things. It's just a piece of the Phoenix Force that gets sent to it as like a beacon, which that's what do that. Fucking set that up. Tell it right, because it's not a part of her.
No,
the Phoenix Force is not a part of her, and every fucking movie version tells it like it's a part of her, and it's not. She's not some fucking crazy. She's not. They set it up the same fucking way.
I haven't seen
the extended trailer. I'm like, it's a fucking part of her. That's bullshit. They can't do that. You have to fucking do it right.
Every time I've seen, I'm like,
even the cartoon.
Why are they doing a fucking remake of the same goddamn shit they did before that didn't work?
Right, and even the cartoon got it wrong. That's the one part of the cartoon I did not enjoy. They told the Phoenix Force shit all wrong. She is cocooned in the bottom of that lake that is not Jean Grey. Jean Grey does not die. Then. It's in the Dark Phoenix saga that she dies because she sacrifices herself to fucking destroy the Phoenix Force because it wants her as the vessel. Because it's more powerful than the fucking cloned vessel that it created. So it leaves her, or leaves Madeline Pryor, fucking goes to Jean Grey. That's what... that was one of Sinister's clones. Who was it that gets left behind? Or did that vessel dies?
No, that vessel died
when she made the transfer.
Left to protect the Crown Crystal in the sun.
That's right. But she then goes, the Phoenix Force then enters Jean Grey. Then that's when the Wolverine sacrifice bullshit happens. It's not a part of her the whole fucking time. That's the fucking heart-wrenching part, is because she's making the sacrifice knowing that it wants her, and the only way for it to be defeated is to go into her mortal body. And then, the movies the movies and cartoons have not done it properly, and the MCU can do it right. They can.
They can't.
They can.
Yeah, well, will they?
With Kevin Feige at the helm, they will. They'll do it right.
But
because then it builds to the Avengers versus X-Men thing with another piece of the Phoenix Force.
That actually seems like it is quite a ways down the road.
Oh yeah, I'm not expecting it in any of the next 3 phases at all. Maybe little hints here and there, I would imagine, dude, if they introduce Jean properly,
I imagine that
if they do, they could do it right.
Phase 6 or 7,
yeah,
and
Phase 6 hint, Phase 7 start making the leads towards doing it,
and making that like the Infinity
Gauntlet, yeah,
Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. Yep. Do the first arc around Doctor Doom of 4. We'll do 4, 5, and 6 around Doctor Doom, and as Doctor Doom's is ending, that's when you loop in the Phoenix Force, because in order to end Doctor Doom's, you have to do Secret War. You have to.
Right.
And that includes X-Men and Avengers. It just does. So like by the end of 6, they should have that all wrapped up, and everybody's introduced properly, except for maybe Namor. If they don't get the Namor rights, we're in a big loss. Big one. We can fucking replace him in the Avengers vs. X-Men in that next section when the Phoenix Force shit happens, because the entire Phoenix Force saga should start with the Dark Phoenix, or the Phoenix Saga, Dark Phoenix Saga, and then Avengers vs. X-Men. If you want to do it right, that's how you would do it. And then have interspersed movies in the in-betweens of those 3 major flicks, have the fucking solos and offshoots.
Right.
Like, we know how to fucking do it. MCU made the perfect map. And how DC cannot follow this map, I will never fucking know. They just aren't, they're not hitting the notes right. And it's like reading music, and they're not doing it right. You and I could probably fucking go, okay, Kevin, here's our plans. And he'd look at it and go, you guys know how to do this. Because we know how to do this.
Right.
It's what we're fucking good at. We're just not paid to do.
Yeah.
If we could find a fucking artist to do comic books for us that could just bring our shit to life, would be fucking golden. But neither of us have the fucking capability of doing it, and we don't know anybody that's that good. So there you go. But,
all right, so we're running long.
Oh, definitely, we're running long.
So, Supergirl was the quest for peace.
Well, did it?
It surpassed its namesake.
Not surpassed. Did it save the name? Because Quest for Peace is also a run in the comics, which was a very good run. But that movie was shit, and it drug the whole fucking thing down with it. Anything I mention in Quest for Peace is a joke. Now, did that Supergirl episode?
It was real good.
It was real good. So it surpassed it and helped save the Quest for Peace subtitle.
Kinda.
We have other things to reference in that shitty Superman movie. We can go look at Supergirl and look at the comic books. Like, Quest for Peace wasn't all bad. It's just that one.
All right.
So yeah, that's good. That's good. And with DC, with them doing Batwoman, that opens up a whole different spectrum of characters.
In season 2 of Titans, Batman will be there.
Nice.
But that is a streaming. That's not.
But that doesn't mean anything, because if they're able to introduce him in one universe, they'll attack. They could build 2 entire universes around Batman and Superman, like they're doing. Like, Superman is the special treat when shit goes fucking sideways. And hey, it's time to bring in soup. Boom, there he is. You know.
But they have problems with television rights.
Right.
For
Batman.
For Batman. But since it's streaming rights, they have rights to Batman.
And I'm thinking, since Fox went to Disney, the television properties of Fox went to Disney, they'll probably be gracious enough to go, all right, we don't want bad blood. Because they don't. They've already said on several fucking press releases they don't want bad blood with DC. They should be working together to make everybody better. And it's true. They if they work together, they can make everybody better. So if they go, hey, yo, we have your TV rights in that Fox deal, we'll give them back to you. Let's do a little crossover in our production. It has nothing to do with the characters themselves, but with the minds behind the characters.
Right.
Fucking let Greg Berlanti go over and play in the fucking TV world of Marvel. He could make that shit tie into the MCU. Let the MCU let Kevin Feige go take a poke around at the fucking DCEU and go, hey, you should do this.
I was watching something.
But if they would work together, they could make both very good.
Oh. In Cloak and Dagger, they have a reference to Luke Cage.
Nice.
And it does sound like the Netflix Luke Cage.
Yes. Is a part of the Cloak and Dagger universe.
It's part of the same universe.
Well, and Cloak and Dagger is part of the MCU as well.
So,
they are planning on introducing...
So, basically, they are part of it. Those shows are part of the MCU.
Yep. The only reason they didn't even touch the Defenders in Endgame and any of that is because they didn't have a proper introduction into the movies themselves, and felt that it would muck up the stories that were being told on Netflix. And they've already said that those movies are happening not concurrent to our current time, but more real time to when they started. So they're still back in 2014, 2016. Like, when they introduced was their time when they came in.
Right, and Marvel's already jumped ahead.
Yeah, they're ahead 5 years, so that, the whole snap scenario can come into play in their shit, but it just wouldn't have happened yet, because they're, Daredevil's only at what? Maybe how much actual real time you think has passed in those episodes? I know they've done a couple of jump forwards and shit, but I'm thinking in that, three seasons, they only maybe got 2 or 3 years of actual real time built in, because everything was introduced so quickly into that Netflix universe. It's all still wrapped around, like, the first Guardians movie. The first 2 Guardians movies are probably wrapped around that same time frame. Like back in 2014 to 2000. Yeah.
Let me work it up.
Just Daredevil. Because Daredevil is the starting point of...
Right. I'm guessing Daredevil
started in 2015. So let's even one further back. I was saying 2016. So 2015.
So, yeah, 2015. I want to say...
Prequel. Okay, then there's the real time.
The real time, we put them maybe 2018.
Right, just before all the decimation and shit would have happened. So their shows getting canceled saves them from having to actually deal with that. But the characters are still introduced into the MCU universe. Shit could have happened since
And I'm guessing
Arg.
Cloak and Dagger is more closely real time.
Right.
Our time.
Yes.
Real time.
Yep. So they would have had to probably have dealt with the decimation, or were...
Right after the decimation.
Yeah, I would think that would probably be the best point to put them in is during the 5 years, in that midst of the 5 years.
Right.
Fuck it, we're already at 50 minutes. I'm going to push a little bit further. We're talking Marvel.
So, actually, you know one of the bigger problems with Endgame?
What?
How well would it work? It actually does, because the unsnap brought people back
Right.
exactly where they were.
Right.
What if that space?
No, not exactly where they were. It brought them back to the place that they were. The dust had to reform, but they didn't fucking pop right back into fucking existence where they were. The dust reformed. I'm guessing it probably didn't form around shit. Because
what if there is...
Because the Infinity Stones are actually sentient, so I'm guessing it rebuilt everything properly.
What if there's a building where you
would fucking... yeah.
Now you're embedded into a building?
Right. Makes sense. But
what a horrific way to go.
You seriously should play that Spider-Man game for PS4. It is one of the best tellings of Spider-Man. It is not anything MCU. It's the perfect actually jumping in point for a MGU, a Marvel Gaming Universe, because it's well animated, stories are well told. They get a lot of bad guys in there. I think they got 9 bad guys in there, because you start off, you take out Kingpin, and then Shocker shows up, and then who was the other one? Black Cat's tease. She's in the DLC. I haven't downloaded yet, but I'm totally gonna fucking get that DLC. Oh my god. Cannonball, not Cannonball. The fuck is her name? Speedball. It's she's a cyber terrorist bad guy that fucking makes Spider-Man run around like. But then they introduced the Sinister Six. Like they do a great job telling the whole story. I would love to see other games from that.
I've heard
in that universe.
Everybody says it's a great game.
And the thing is, it's got easy fucking controls, pick up and play. You'll know how to play in the first 5 minutes, and by the time you get done, you'll be like, damn, I want to play it again. And then it's like, hey, here's New Game Plus, and you're like, yes, fucking play it again. I'm halfway through my second run through. I moved it up I started on normal. I've moved the difficulty up to fucking expert because it was like easy on normal, so expert should be fucking nice and hard. It's still kind of easy because I've got a maxed out Spider-Man in the early levels, so it's just like 3 punches. Like,
I've had games that had a New Game Plus.
Fucking love New Game Plus, dude.
And you get your shit. You're like, all right, I'm fucking badass. Right off the rip.
Dude, Chrono Trigger's the best example of that, because not only is you could do New Game Plus, but then you can New Game Plus your old, like the New Game Plus that you plussed, and so you just keep building it. Like I had, I think it was 6 times over of New Game Pluses to where everybody was like instant hit 9999.
Final Fantasy X-2.
Another New Game Pluser.
You can keep New Game Plusing.
I love that fucking option.
Because they got to go by dress. Your different dresses. Because it's all female.
Right.
And you can max out all your dresses and shit. So you have to be able to play over and over. Because you can't get to one until like the very end of the game.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yep.
You're like, well, what's the good... Oh, hi, New Game Plus.
Right. Fucking boom, done. Let's do this again. And the thing I like about that Spider-Man game is it's New York City map, but then they have, like, Avengers Tower and fucking the Sanctum Sanctorum and, like, everything that would be in New York in a Marvel version of New York is there.
So...
And they reference the shit.
Alright, so in the MCU
Yes.
is Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yes.
Okay. So is he just hanging out with the Wong
Yeah.
and the Infinity Gauntlet?
Oh, the Garden Time Stone?
No, when we see him in Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War,
Right.
is he just hanging out with Wong? And Wong is the the master or whatever.
Oh, the Sanctum Sanctorum?
Or
Or
the New York chapter.
The Sorcerer Supreme of the New York chapter?
Not the New
Or
York,
not the Sorcerer Supreme, but the...
but the
yeah.
is that what's going on? Because or
I think so.
'cause-
Actually, I think it's the other way around. I think that's Doctor Strange's place.
no,
And Wong's hanging out
no,
there.
that's in the movie. That's the New York chapter.
I'll have to watch it again
Because-
and figure out what
Because that's where he gets the cloak.
Yeah. I think the Sanctum Sanctorum is whoever's Sorcerer Supreme's location. Like, they have to stay there. It's like the portal point. But they also have, like, Daredevil's Church. And, like, you name it from, like, any of the Marvel franchises, they fucking reference it. Dude, they even have a Ghost Rider reference.
Do they have Fantastic Four?
The Baxter
The
Building?
Baxter Building, yes.
No, they don't. Not yet. But that wasn't on the same island as the Avengers Tower. It's the next island over, but you can see it. They also have the Raft out there, too, for fucking all the supervillains and shit. But,
Yeah, or superheroes that are charged with.
yes. But, they have a beautiful Fantastic Four reference in the Bombastic Bagman. So you get Spider-Man in a Fantastic Four suit with a bag over his head. You remember that when that? Yeah, you needed the suit. And Johnny's like, I can hook up the suit, but I ain't got a mask. Looks like you just throw a bag over your head. But they have the Fantastic Four suit in it, so I'm just like, okay, they got little notes of everything except for X-Men. There's no.
Because
It's not really New York. That's upper state New York,
that's
Westchester, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah, Westchester, Connecticut, New York, right on the border. But yeah, I can see them doing some fantastic shit with that universe, telling good stories. Because by the end of the movie, I say movie because it felt like a movie. I played it like it.
All right, so we're gonna call it quits.
Yep, we're gonna give us the old outro.
Tell your friends.
Tell your enemies.
Tell your
frenemies to like, share, subscribe, comment. Comment.
Oh, pretty sure it was Norwalk Music.
Big
Thank
ups.
you very much.
Big ups. Big ups.
I will probably mention it in the other.
In the wrestling podcast, since that was where the comment was.
Right.
But until next time, keep it random and peace.
Peace.
Among what?